Uh, got my little Fender Champ sounding better. Did some modifications. So it's got that jazzy through this guitar. This amp sounds very good now. I like it a lot better. It's got a really boomy, at a low volume. You can still kind of hear the acoustic of this guitar. The kind of highs come through in the acoustic sound, but the low bassy stuff comes through the amp. At kind of practice volumes, You crank it up more. I'm not going to do it now because it's 8 o'clock in the morning, but it sounds pretty good. And you put it on the bridge pickup, which these pickups in this guitar are fairly weak for humbuckers. They really are. They're not real powerful. I got them down pretty low because this isn't some rock and roll machine. This is just kind of made for playing jazzy stuff, but so you can play some rock and roll on it. That's only on about 3 down here, but anyway, what I did in order to get a little better sound out of this amp, is I took the original rectifier that I built as a bridge rectifier using diodes and stuff, which wasn't on the Fender Champ diagram. It was some stuff that I had around, and I decided to try it just to use it because I had it. I figured, why buy a rectifier tube whenever I can build a rectifier out of some stuff that I've got right here, left over from some wind turbine crap from several years ago. I'll never use these diodes for anything else, so that's what I used them for. It produced too much voltage doing it that way. Those rectifiers, that type of rectifier is just more efficient than an old tube type rectifier. So I got voltage too high for a 6V6 tube, so I ended up trying to use a 6L6 that could work on a little more voltage, and started modifying stuff, putting a resistor in here, doing this and that, trying to bias that 6L6, doing all I can just to make it work. I had it on the bench out there. I wanted to hear it. I'm just not very patient. I should have just, when I seen how high that voltage was, I should have just ordered the tube and done it that way. But I didn't. I used it for about 6 months like it was. It burned the 6L6 up. Like I said, it lasted quite a while. It didn't sound very good at high volumes. Sounded alright at low volumes. Actually more bassy and rumblier than it is now. Now it's not too bad unless you push it. With this big guitar here, it's just got a lot of low end rumble, and it'll tend to rumble at 12-inch speaker because these champs were built to go through an 8-inch speaker, and you get it all. There's no tone circuit at all in this, so you get everything that comes through it, especially when the volume is cranked. You're getting it all, and that's part of what makes these champs break up well. It's a lot of the reason why they were used for years and years, and there's recordings out there that were recorded with thousands of dollars of recording equipment, thousands of dollars microphones, and buildings built specifically for recording music and all this stuff. And then the guy pulls out a Fender Champ that back in the day, whenever these were being sold at your local music store, I mean, you could probably buy a Fender Champ used for $50, 40, $50. These were the amps that were being used to record in these studios and all this equipment and stuff, because the guys just liked the way they sounded, you know. People like Eric Clapton and Joe Walsh especially, he used them a lot. But for recording, they couldn't be beat. That's the reason I want to build one. Anyway, I put a tube rectifier in it, put the original 6V6 in it and everything. Got more of the way it's supposed to sound now. You know, I'm more impressed with it. I'd crank it up and let you hear it with my... You plug the Les Paul into it, it breaks it up pretty good. I mean, it's pretty impressive when you get it up there on about 8. You push it on past that, it starts getting a little rumbly, like I said, because I think it's that 12-inch speaker, and the original Champs had little 8-inch speakers in them. So, anyway, that can be corrected by putting just some kind of treble boost or something in it. It'll break it up sooner. It doesn't get any louder from 7 to 10. It just kind of breaks up in a little different, a little more is all it does. It doesn't get any louder. So you can leave it on 7, a little treble boost into it, and it's going to push it a little more, so it's going to break up like it's on 10, but you're going to have it on 7, and it's going to push that 12-inch speaker in a better way, you know. So, anyway, got this one straightened out. Seems to be working a lot better. Run some shielded cable on some stuff. Fix my hum. This damn thing, you can't even tell it's on now, period. I mean, there's just nothing coming out of it. No hum at all. I got 2 other empty chassis out there that I bought the other day from a guitar shop. It's kind of a bummer experience down there. The dude thinking I'm crazy for wearing a mask in his guitar shop, but, you know, fuck that dude. Anyway, got those 2 cabinets. Got decent speakers in them. I'm going to maybe put some kind of Marshall, maybe a little Class A Marshall. Build a JCM 800 circuit, put it into a single EL34. Get maybe 10 watts out of it. Be like a nice Marshall practice amp. And 10 watts through an EL34 like that, it might be loud enough. I know if you run it stereo with this little amp here, if you run them side by side through a stereo, a couple of pedals, you know, like a stereo chorus or something like that, and kind of split your signal up, it would be more than enough to jam with just about anybody with a full drum set even, I'm sure. This little amp here is loud enough if you were playing some jazz or some country or something. It would do it. It would do it, no doubt about it, because you can push it on up past 5 before it starts breaking up. So I got those 2 I'm going to fart with. Like I say, I might do a Marshall circuit in one of them. Might do something else. Might do something with 2 tubes. Do like a Princeton 2 6L6s push-pull and build like a 15, 20 watt little amp. That'll be after the holidays. I got my my little small thing that I found at the antique shop. I got it working and got it quieted down with some shielded cable and stuff. And I'm not super impressed with it, but it's all right. It's only like 1 watt. I mean, it's literally just a tiny little practice amp. I mean, you could use it for some recording, though. I might even try that one day. You know, do some blues or something with it, because it does break up in a kind of neat way, and it's got different preamp tube in it, and I don't know, it's just different. It's just different. It reminds me, I can't remember the dude's name that played Ziggy on all the Ziggy Stardust stuff with David Bowie. I can't remember his name. I just can't remember. I think he's the dude that went on to perform T-Rex, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, though. That dude's sound, I don't know what he was going through. That's what that little amp out there kind of reminds me of. But anyway, it's only 1 watt, so it's not some cranked, loud overbearing thing. It's just like a little farty little 1 watt amp that you can kind of fart around with. But anyhow, that's about it.